So the first thing we're going to talk about is source reduction, which is not managing the waste, but avoiding having the waste in the first place. And I'm going to start by sharing some wasted food statistics, talk a little bit about the food recovery hierarchy, and then highlight some of the benefits of preventing wasted food. As you know, and you'll hear a lot more about, California has some very ambitious goals for reducing the amount of organics that go into the landfill. And we believe that the best approach is to keep the material from becoming waste in the first place. And you've probably all seen there are many scary statistics about food and wasting it. And 1/3 of the food that we grow and create in this country goes to waste. And it is the largest single type of waste at this point that's going into the landfills. And about 1/3 of single-parent households are food insecure. We've got a lot of people looking and not knowing where their next meal is coming from, and we've got lots of wasted food. And it's a huge environmental impact. 1/4 of the fresh water that we use in this country goes to food that we then throw away. I'm not talking about to grow, 1/4 goes to grow food. 1/4 goes to grow food that gets thrown away. And that, of course, has to stop. If food waste were a country, this statistic blows me away. If food waste were a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in terms of greenhouse gases, and that's according to the United Nations, and I can give you more information on how we got there. And food loss happens at a lot of different levels. And in this country, only about 9% of wasted food happens at the processing and manufacturing stage, but that's not to say that we can't always do better at each of the stages. This is really the center of my discussion to you, which is this is our food recovery hierarchy. We've all heard of reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce is first. Don't create it in the first place. And source reduction is the most preferable in terms of any kind of waste. Actually, you'll see a similar chart for pollution prevention. If you can't avoid the waste in the first place, you want to feed hungry people. If you can't feed hungry people, or if the material isn't appropriate for people, see if there's an opportunity to feed animals. Then you look at industrial uses, fats, oils, and greases for biofuels, anaerobic digestion, and so on, and then composting. We tend to go to composting first. Oh, we have food waste, we have organic waste, let's compost it. So we would urge you to look higher up the hierarchy. And then, of course, last chance would be to have it destroyed and sent to landfill. This is another amazing slide. You can't read the details necessarily from here, but this shows that the greatest greenhouse benefits come from source reduction. And that's the number 4 that you see, 4 pounds. And if you do donation, you save about -0.5. And composting and anaerobic digestion are the next 2. So you can see the benefit is much greater if you don't create the waste in the first place. Composting really isn't a solution. It's a best you can do sometimes, but it's not really the solution. And, of course, landfilling it creates greenhouse gases. Of course, we're not going to get into a lot of the details right now, but if you don't waste as much, you save money. You save money in acquiring the raw materials, in managing, processing, and then ultimately having to dispose of them. There's a fabulous report I urge you all to take a look at. It's the ReFed report, the Roadmap to Reducing Waste. And the top 11 opportunities for reducing wasted food in terms of business profit, you can see here. And the ones that I've circled are the ones that are the most relevant for food manufacturing and processing. Just urge you to take a look at that. Just wanted to also draw your attention to the fact that on our Sustainable Management of Food website, we have some food loss prevention tip sheets. We have them for food manufacturers as well as, other sectors, institutions, restaurants, schools, and so on. If you're interested, talk to me or my colleague Andre about the Food Recovery Challenge. It's a great way to get technical assistance and recognition. And I don't know if you knew, but the federal government has a goal to cut food waste in half by 2030. And so I hope that you'll take an opportunity to think about any wasted food that's happening and see if there's a way to prevent it from happening in the first place before you go and look at your other alternatives, such as donation. Thank you very much.